going on, guys at home? If you're listening, I appreciate you tuning in tonight. Got Ben Stevens with me tonight. Looking forward to the conversation. Ben, how are you doing, man?
Good. I'm doing great. How about you?
Very good. I haven't been on in about 3 weeks. I think four, actually. So it's good to be back and talk some more. I know me and you tried to meet up in February last year, but
Yes.
due to reception and internet service down in Mexico, you had a little bit of issues. So it's good to chat, man. Seriously.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a little bit of issues, kind of an understatement, but
It
yeah, it's
happened.
definitely great to be on here. I'm excited to talk.
Me too, man. Me too. Looking forward to hearing more about your IFA opportunity. I know I got a few people that have messaged me, asked me about the IFA.
Mhm.
We don't know too many details yet, but look to know more in the future. But anyway, before we get to all that, man, I got Ben Stevens with me, guys. Wide receiver. He played last year in Mexico for the LFA. Had a decent season. Couldn't find stats though, unfortunately. I looked and looked, but we couldn't find them. But he has signed on with the IFA for this next upcoming season, 2025. So, yeah, Ben. I mean, tell me more about yourself, man. Kind of like who are you? What's your background?
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, yeah, like I said, my name's Ben Stevens. I grew up in a little town called Danville, Indiana. Population, I don't even know, probably 8,000 people. Not much, kind of just how I like it. Um, I went to Marion University, graduated in 2022. Graduated with a degree in physiology of exercise science. And what's funny is I don't even use it. I'm a project manager for for an electrical company in Lebanon, Indiana, which is something that's funny. But yeah, outside of that, I got three siblings, a loving mom, and I just love the game of football, man. There's really not much to it.
It Looking at your stats from your college years, I was pretty impressed, man. Let me bring them up real quick on screen.
Yeah.
You had a good year in 2022. I mean, in my opinion, it was a damn good year in terms of yards and touchdowns. Let's look.
No, that picture looks great, man.
It'll be there forever, Ben. It's never going to be there.
Unfortunately, yeah, unfortunately.
So, receiving stats 71 receptions for 1,184 yards and 12 touchdowns, average
Sure.
16.7 yards a game or a catch. I'm sorry, 107 yards per game. Wow. So, Ben, man, that's a pretty good season on your belt. I mean, I'm not just saying that either. I'm impressed. So,
Yeah, it was a great senior year, man. Had a lot of really good athletes surrounding us. That was a really good football team. Quarterback was he's going into his junior year. Really starting to understand the offense. Offensive coordinator's named Andy Mitchell. Great guy, great coach, and really knew how to take that offense and really run with it. What was funny about that though is we really were a run first offense. We had a lot of playmakers outside, and I mean myself included with all those guys, but we ran the ball a whole lot, and we just made the receivers. We did what we could with the ball when we got it. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was. I loved Marion. I loved everything about that place, and I'm actually going back to the alumni game here pretty soon, which will be fun to see and just catch up with all my old buddies and stuff. So I'm excited for it.
now, being in the NAIA realm, there's some skill that way. Am I correct?
Oh yes, sir. There's a lot of skill with our school. Just with Marion, we had Brandon Dillon, who's a tight end, graduated in 2019 season. He played for the Vikings, was in the XFL. He's doing a lot of good stuff. And then we had Kershawn Hogan play for the Colts. I think he graduated in 2016. And then someone who graduated with me, or actually transferred to EKU, excuse me, my buddy Logan Blake. He had a couple camps with the Packers, I think the Patriots too, and he's still floating around trying to do that too. So there's a lot of good talent just in our school alone, and everywhere in the NAI. There's amazing schools. There's really good football there, and I mean we played a D2 school called University of Indianapolis. They're the Greyhounds, and we're 0-2 against them, and they never wanted to play us again. So we always kind of bring that up to them because they like to talk a little bit, but they won't ever play us. So there's good talent in the NAI. There really is, and it kind of gets crapped on for being the smaller schools. You know, people go there when they can't do better. I say, but it's not true, man. People just go there to get a jump start, and it's kind of like a JUCO. Kind of figure out what your
Yep.
game is, build yourself up, and then when you get that film, go up the next level. And people are shocked what you can do. They really are because they hear that NAIA Like, man, you couldn't even go D3. It's like a JUCO, man. So, but yeah, it's really cool. I'm proud to be from the NAI. I really am.
That's awesome. I'm always about the underdogs and working your way up. Not being an underdog anymore is a great experience, I'm sure. Before we got on, I know you talked a little bit about, you had good role models ahead of you in your position. I mean, can you tell me more about that? I mean, how did they kind of drive you to be better and have this great season in 2022?
Yeah, for sure. We had a receiver named Johnny Williams. He was from a place called Pike here in Indianapolis. He was a really good guy, one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen. Dude was probably 5'9", 175 pounds, but he'd run right past you. He was strong too. He was just a great leader. Like I said, great athlete. He set thousands of records at Marion, but just a great guy. He's someone you could go up to and ask a question, and he'd sit there for an hour and explain it to you just to make sure you got it. And then he just understood everything. So he understood the game. Him and I aren't the biggest guys, so what we got to do, we got to work what we got. Find the holes in the defense. If we're gonna get those one-on-one opportunities, we gotta win, stuff like that. He really did a good job of teaching me some stuff. But when I got switched, actually, because I was a slot guy, then I got switched out to X and Y or X and Z. It was a weird kind of transfer over to those positions. So I had a really cool guy named Jacob Pressler. He was actually graduated with me in 2022. He went to Brebeuf High School. He's coaching there now, but him and I were really good friends, and he taught me kind of how to make that switch, because I'm so used to being those me versus safety, had that 10-yard separation. Then from going to outside and that corner's right in your face, it was
a little more physical for sure.
Yeah, a lot more physical. It took a little bit had some wake up calls there.
Keep the head on a swivel, huh?
Head on the swivel. That's a good way to put it. But yeah, he definitely helped me figure that out for myself and learn the physical side of it right there as soon as you get there. But yeah, it was really cool to see all those guys help me and help create the player I am today. It was awesome.
In terms of high school, I mean, what was, I mean, you don't have to go deep into it, but I mean, I'm guessing you played all of high school, same position. I mean, was there anything different or noticeable from those years?
I mean, I played, like I said, Danville Community High School. We went to semi-state my senior year, had a pretty good year. I set a bunch of records there, just like receiving yards in the game.
Smaller school, so I guess it was probably like 2A or something,
3A, yes,
gotcha.
sir. Yep. And then in Indiana, it goes all the way up to 5A.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we were a pretty good team. And how I got into Marion actually was my head coach. His name was Casey Woods. He went to Marion, came to Danville, coached, and then he kind of had those connections and got me there because coming out of high school, even though I think I was ranked or not ranked. I had the third most receiving touchdowns my senior year in the state.
Wow.
And I had one college offer to go to Marion, and that was it. No walk-ons, no nothing. So having that one opportunity, I always had that chip on my shoulder. And then I just tried to do what I could with it and just put my head down and work, man.
That's awesome, dude. Much respect. I mean, when I pulled up your stats, I was like, am I looking at that right? That's awesome, dude. Now let's hop off topic for a minute. The Gridiron crew chimed in. They said, "What's up, guys?"
I didn't even see that. What's up, guys?
Big thanks to them for getting you on tonight. I've interviewed a bunch of their guys, a good group of guys. Can you tell me more about them? Kind of, I mean, how they helped you in this experience so far?
Oh, those three guys are some of the best people. I haven't met them, but they do a whole lot for us guys. I think they have some like 50 athletes now, and it doesn't matter who you have. I work with his name's Nicholas East. I forget actually, but he's always there for me day or night. I mean, they all are, but I work with him a lot, and we talk or we text all the time, and they'll do anything you want, man. If you tell them you want to go for the NFL, they're like, great, we're going to do everything we can to make that happen. If you say, hey, I want to go play football in Mexico, they're like, sweet, man, we got connections, we're going to make it happen. But yeah, those guys do a whole lot of work for not as much as they should be getting. I will say that, but hopefully one day we can make that change because they deserve it, man. They're a great group of guys.
Agree. I just wanted to touch on them for a minute, before we got started, because I would not be interviewing you without them today. So I appreciate them as well greatly. So tell me, what what kind of sparked your love for football? When did you learn or begin to think, "Hey, I'm good at football. I want to keep playing it." What happened?
Well, I was probably about 7 years old, and my mom, she always knew I was a little athletic, and so she said, "Hey, you should go do football with your other friends and this and this." And I remember it, the first thing I told her was like, "No, I am not. I'm not putting on that bulky helmet and putting on that and running. No way. I'm not getting hit." But then I went to it and realized, hey, I'm pretty good at this. This is fun, winning and playing with these guys, my friends. And I was that age. It was really really fun. So kept doing it and went all the way up into middle school. And I've always been a receiver and DB. And then when I got to middle school, my brainiac of a head coach was like, you know what? Let's move you to quarterback. So played quarterback for a game, and I think I threw 3 picks. And after that, I went right back to receiver.
He said, "Never mind."
Yeah, he was like, you know what, Ben, you did your best, but we're gonna put you back at receiver. So that's where I've stayed.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
Yeah, no,
It's a good. It's good to see things from the other side as well, in my opinion.
Definitely cool to see it from a different perspective.
For sure. So you just kept playing, and you were hooked. Basically, sounds a lot like me as a child as well. Like I did not want to play Pee Wee either, and my parents forced me. And then I was like, "Hey, this is awesome! I'm big. I can hit
pretty
people."
Cool.
Yep. So, very similar in that. Very very similar. That's funny because I remember the same type of stuff. Like I don't want to go out here and sweat and get knocked out. But anyway, it sparked the love today for sure.
Definitely.
So you played in the LFA, which is I don't even know what the real LFA stands for. Can you tell me that?
Football Americano.
Thank you. I was about to screw that up epically. But yeah, played for them. How were things down there? How was your experience in general?
My experience was it was like 50-50. The team I was with, the Mexicas, they're based out in Mexico City. They have a lot of good guys there. I'm talking players, coaches, in the office type guys. It's a good organization. There's some things that aren't so good about it, which is unfortunate because being down there in that city, getting to experience that culture was one of the greatest things that has ever happened in my life, and I'm always going to be thankful for it. But at the same time, like I said, there were some of the things that weren't so great about it. Sometimes communication was really bad, and I'm not talking about because Spanish and English. I'm just talking about altogether. Like coaches weren't talking with players about certain things. Players didn't want to talk to the coaches about certain things because the level of trust wasn't there that needed to be a winning team. Now we did pretty good. I think we went 8-3, lost in the semi game of the championship. But at the same time, if you look through the cracks, it was a little messy. And I hate saying that, I really do, because it was a great experience. Don't get me wrong. And if I had the option, I would do it again. But at the same time, like I said, there's some things that got to change to make that league better. And I think it will. It's just got to be brought up and communicated, because if it's not going to go nowhere.
Understood. There's nothing wrong with being critical. You're not being negative about it. And you coming from you just got out of college in 22. For 23, when did you actually go down to Mexico? When was that?
So I graduated in May of 2022, and I went to Mexico that December 2022.
Wow. So
yes, sir.
You're still almost used to that college program style as well, though. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. You're very schedule oriented. I don't know. I can see the difference almost that you're speaking of, but for people that haven't played it, they may not understand as much.
Yeah, definitely. It's just different. It's hard to explain, honestly.
I understand. I get
that. Yeah.
Tell me, in terms of the skill you had down there, was there a lot of guys that were skilled? I've talked to a few guys from there that played with that league. I won't say from there, but from that league.
Yeah.
And they told me that the skill level is pretty high amongst Americans. There are some Mexicans, not Americans, Mexicans that are pretty good, but a lot of that skill is the Americans coming in. Can you speak on that at all?
Yeah, there's a lot of good talent down there, honestly. I know one of the teams we went up against had a guy from Oregon. We had on my team, we had a guy from San Jose State, WKU. I mean, yeah, it's just all kinds of great talent from all over the country, which is really cool to see. And they all just come down, and we get to just be ourselves and hang out with each other and just play football. It's a lot of fun, and it's cool to go up to other guys and on other teams when you're playing and be like, "Hey, man, where are you from?" and get to know them. And like I said, like I came from Marion, and it's an NAIA school, and going up to other guys asking where they're from, and they're like, "Yeah, I went to an NAIA school, and then I transferred to here, and I did well." And I love that, man. Seeing someone like me just keep going and growing and building up, and I love that. It's awesome to see that. So it's cool to see the different people and the different talents. It really, really was, because there were some guys you go up and, like I said, there were some guys you go up and it'd be, "Hey man, you had a great game," and it's like, I don't speak English, man. It's like, "Oh shoot, you're Mexican, bro. That's crazy." But there's just talent everywhere. It's really cool. Yeah.
What? So I know you said there was some challenges in terms of, I guess, organization and communication. One of my questions was, what are some of the challenges? I mean, anything else? And it doesn't even have to be football oriented. I mean, what was challenging about living in Mexico and playing American football?
The biggest challenge, I'd say, for me and maybe some of the other guys was just like you said, we really focused and like we were there to play football, and we wanted to do that at the best of our ability. They were making that really, really hard. Getting to practice wasn't the easiest because Mexico City is so crowded. So I mean, we would have practice at 11 o'clock at night, and then we're not getting home till 1:30 in the morning, and then so your days are kind of mixed up. Getting there and getting back is difficult because we can't drive in that city. It's just a whole different system. Getting to games was a little difficult. We'd go to airport at 5 a.m., land in our new destination at 8, 9 o'clock, and then play that night.
Oh, wow.
So we would be exhausted. Just stuff like that. It's just different. Yeah, trying to really flip on that switch when you're going on 3 hours of sleep is pretty hard. Yeah, just stuff like that. It's just stuff you don't really think about. It's all behind the scenes kind of stuff. Like with practice, if we can't practice right, we're not going to play right. And you saw that some of the games, you could really see that, which was unfortunate. But yeah.
They are a newer organization, correct? I mean, I know they've been around for a while, but they kind of redid it, is what my understanding was.
I believe in 2015, that was the first year, I believe so.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard finding information about it. Honestly, most of what I know is from talking to some Mexican athletes like this, and same, or off air. And they kind of put it in perspective for me, because last year when I heard about this, I was like, what the hell? This is crazy. I didn't even know this was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, there's a lot of good athletes, a lot of good talent down there. We actually watched some of the games on Twitter, I think, Facebook this year.
Yeah.
Watched some of those. It was difficult because they were in Spanish, but it was a good time, I guess. You can mute it if you wanted to, but it was kind of exciting as well, hearing them speak Spanish and playing football. I kind of enjoyed it, the same perspective.
Yeah, that's how my parents were. They were saying that it was different. It was cool to hear it and see it. And my mom and stepdad do not speak any Spanish really, but every time they heard Benjamin touchdown, they'd go crazy. They would go crazy.
I love it, dude. That's hilarious. I would like to go in person and just see what the vibes are like. Can you kind of tell me more about that? How is a game day there in Mexico? What does that look like?
Better than you would think, honestly. They get a good crowd for our team. I can speak of our team. And honestly, most of our away games too. It was a good crowd. Like, they get into it. They're screaming. They're making chants. They're really getting into the game. And it's cool to see because it makes it feel so much more professional and like you're there, and you do something big, you're gonna get recognized for it. And it's me personally, I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was more of a high school NAI college football kind of deal where you get maybe 500, 800 people, but no, there was a good turnout, and it was cool, really cool to play in front of all those people.
That's what Enrique Yini, I've spoke with him many times. He played for the Gallos, I think it is. I can't ever say it correctly.
Gallos,
excuse me. Every time. You can tell me that, and 5 minutes later I'll do it again.
Right.
But he had said the same thing. He said, I mean, it's very you would be surprised at how much the culture actually revolves around game days there, cities and people, and I didn't expect it. So that's kind of why I was like, hey, I would love to visit and see what this is like. And he played. Where did he play college? He played college somewhere in America one year. I have to look, but
Yeah.
he said it was comparable to that. Some of the biggest games. I mean, there was a lot of people there.
What's so cool also is if you ever did go to a game, you could not speak a lick of Spanish, but they'll bring you down, paint your face, buy you a beer. They'll bring
That's
you right
awesome.
in as long as you chant with them. They're
That's awesome.
they're right there for you.
That is awesome. Let's see what the Gridiron Crew said. They said, if you ever left the room, you thought you missed a huge play because they commentate like it is soccer or something. Always sound excited. Run back into the room, and it was just a normal 3-yard run. I agree. So I was like, what's happening? Oh, run the ISO left. Got you.
That is very, very true. Oh man, that's funny.
If they had an English like something English, I would have definitely watched it more. I feel like just because,
yeah,
like some of the players, I want to know who they are. That's kind of what a lot of people, you get into football. Cool, you have a team, it's the players that really matter to some people.
yeah, definitely. Everybody's got their favorite kind of guys they want to follow and watch, and even with down there, if you're just sitting on your couch at home and you went to, I'm from Indiana, so you go to IU and you hear someone, oh, this guy from IU played there in 2018. You're like, hey, that's pretty cool, and you want to get into it and a little more invested. Yeah, I can definitely understand that.
So let's go forward. Let's talk about your opportunity with the IFA. That's the International Football Alliance. They're a newer league. They were supposed to start last year, but they ended up postponing to 2025. I think there's 5 teams right now or 4. I'm going to pull it up.
Yeah. Because
I guess
I'm not even sure.
Yeah, tell me more about that experience. I mean, what's happened so far? Did you have to try out? Have you been offered real, monetary value? I mean, what's going on with it is my question.
So I was actually at work one day and I got a text from the Gridiron guys and they said, hey, heads up, this coach is going to call you. That they like you, good guy. I think you guys get along. And sure enough, about an hour later, I get a call from that coach and he was just like, hey, you know what? We love your film. We love you. We think you're a cool guy. We're going to bring you down to San Antonio for a camp invite. So that's right now. That's all it is. It's an official camp invite.
Gotcha.
And I think he said they're bringing in a good amount of guys. And I think you can only keep 45 to 55, I believe.
Gotcha.
And so, like I said, I'm in that San Antonio team there on the right. I can't even say that. The San Antonio Caballeros.
God, man, you've been in Mexico. You should be.
You can't say that.
I'm not even going to attempt it without somebody telling me. I'll screw the pooch bad.
But it's how they described it's an air raid offense, which is I love.
Sweet.
That's perfect. Yeah. I'm excited to go down there and first of all, I'm excited to get down to San Antonio. I've only heard great things about it.
I like San Antonio.
Yeah, I've never been, and I'm excited. And then I'm just excited to keep playing football. And I've seen some of the guys they've got coming down there for camp, and excited to talk to those guys. I know they got a cornerback from the Jets. I think he was on there in like 2021 or 2019, something like that. But it's gonna be awesome just to talk with him and see what he can teach me. And I'm excited for it. Yeah, like I said, there's not much information I know. All I know is that I got to go down there for camp and. If they like me, they sign me. That's about it.
Sweet. I mean, that's your opportunity, man.
100%.
Show up and show out. Have you thought about trying to play like for the UFL or any of the leagues? The Arena League, IFL, anything like that? If things don't work out.
For me personally, indoor football is just not for me. I don't think so. The way they play is completely different than outdoor football, and it's just not my style. Now, don't get me wrong.
That.
If I have that opportunity and it's something stuff change in the future, I'll take it because I love football and I'm never going to be able to stop playing this game until I feel like I've done all I can. But at the same time, I got to find that fine line of I got a good setup with where my life is heading right now, and I want to be able to keep that going after football, obviously.
Yep.
But yeah, I think hopefully, maybe in the future here I could do some CFL stuff or Europe stuff because what I was always told myself was, if you can't play, obviously the dream is go all the way to the NFL and do that. But if you can't do that, I always wanted to travel the world playing football. That
That's
was
awesome,
100%
dude.
my dream. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've done your first leg of traveling for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was just looking at the IFA stuff more. One of our contributors for AFN, Rama Bulletin, he's really hitting the ground hard on that the league down there in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
I think he went to one of the tryouts. He's interviewed some people from there as well.
Gotcha.
But I'll tell you, man, if you couldn't pick a better city to be at if you can get in there, because
Yeah.
those folks, if that league, oh,
Sorry about
good,
that.
no, you're
Yeah.
good. That league, if that league will show up and be consistent, I promise they'll have a fan base there. You're
Yeah,
gonna have some people
which
who
is
are
awesome.
following you.
I've always heard about San Antonio and how much life is in that city, and I'm excited to go down there and experience it.
Yeah, it's a good time, dude. I've been down there twice. Yeah, and it was awesome both times. And one time I was only down there for the XFL championship. Turned around and came right back home. And like
Dang.
we went on before we went home. That second day we went to the Alamo. We walked a bunch of places, and we came back and did our thing at home. So
Yeah, I'm really excited.
This league looks promising, and that's what I'm excited to see more about it as well. Because I mean, looking at this right now, I mean they got 6 teams going, and they're supposed to have teams in Mexico as well. Am I correct on that?
Yes,
I believe
sir.
so.
Yes, sir. It's supposed to be some of the northern states in Mexico having some teams too. I'm not sure about any of those cities yet, but I do know I was told at least 2 teams should be ready to go by this next season.
Gotcha. Yeah, it says a couple things on here. I'll pull it up real quick. That way we
Yeah,
can see it.
and more information should be coming out about this league in the year 2025 next year. So that's what so we can kind of get more information out and everybody can get into it a little more.
Yeah, and that's what before we hopped on, I told you I was like, I can
Mm-hmm.
respect them. You know, they were supposed to start last year, but if you know it's not put together, pushing it out a year is great. It shows that you're responsible.
Yes, for sure. I mean, it's easy to promise a lot of things, but when people's checks start bouncing or you can't back any of it
Yep.
up, it's
Yep.
a league can fall apart real fast.
Real fast, dude. And so that's what seeing that gave me a lot more faith in this league. At first I was
Yeah,
a little
definitely.
concerned, but after seeing the news and how they're handling it, I think it's awesome. Have you heard anything about where they would play in San Antonio? Have you got anything on that?
I've not yet, unfortunately. Like I said, I got very little information right now, but I'm hoping to get some more here in the upcoming months. Like you were looking at it, and I think they just finalized their camp invites. I believe that's
Gotcha.
all of them going out. So
Gotcha.
hopefully now we can get some more information on where we're going, what's going to happen, when exactly we're going to be down there, and all that. So yeah, because I'm excited to get that information out so we can get more
Yeah,
people behind it. Like I said, definitely.
for sure, man. And that's kind of what we're all about here. Is
Mm-hmm.
the alternative football stuff. If I'll tell you, IFA, if you're listening, like get with me and let's see if we can't get something going on this, because we could really help spread the word on this product for sure. So let's get off football a little bit. I know you said you have kind of like a plan. You've got a career. Can you tell me more about what you do in your real life?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm a simple guy. I wake up at 5, make my coffee, watch a little bit of the news, drive to work. And like I said, I work for a company in Lebanon, Indiana called ATEC. We're an electrical company, do a lot of commercial based. I mean, anything from running wire to putting up lights to, I mean, just, yeah, a lot of crap, unfortunately, because I'm the one who has to
Hey,
look at it all.
that's money, man. That's
It is. It is.
the
We're
trades is where it's at if you can do it.
Yes, sir. We're booming into a great time right now for work here in Indiana. We've got a lot of cool projects going on, not just for our company, but in our union, in our local union downtown. So that's great for us and great for everybody. Like I said, a lot of good work going out, a lot of cool projects coming up for the city, for the state. And yeah, I love my job. I really do. But yeah, I'm just excited for it to see where it goes and keep growing on it, man.
Let me ask you. I mean, so of course, going to Mexico, you couldn't work there doing that. But I mean, do you work during the season? Will you work during the season as well?
I will not. I will be taking my little leave of absence. I've got a pretty good relationship with everybody there at ATech, and they like me, and I love them. So they work with me on my football dreams, and
That's awesome, dude.
we got some boundaries on it, obviously, but yeah, they work with what I'm doing, and there's nothing more grateful. I mean, I'm just blessed for that opportunity that I found someone like that who will let me do what I can when it comes to football. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, knowing you have an opportunity to pay your bills,
Yes, sir.
you can't beat that because you can really play with your passion,
Yes, sir. And
Uh,
I try to talk to all my buddies like, hey man, just I love football, and like I said before, I'm going to do it as long as I can. Well, you got to think about what you're going to do next. You can't just get hung up on this dream when you're 35 playing these leagues. You got to think about what's next, man. And I try to preach that to everybody I meet, because I've met a lot of really good guys, and they got a good plan. I love it. And I've met some guys who aren't on that same road, and I'd hate to see these great people and great individuals get sunk down just because their dreams didn't work out. I don't like seeing that. So I love trying to get those other guys into, hey, what'd you graduate with? Well, here are the jobs you can do with that. And okay, if you don't want to do that, there's plenty of other more things you could do, or you can go back to school and get your master's. Just a lot of different options out there. And I want to make sure everybody knows that, so you can go on and do something great with your life, even if it's not football.
yeah, yeah. Even like your degree, if you wanted, you could go be a personal trainer easily. I mean, or go to physical therapy school, or there's all kinds of stuff that you can do. But yeah, man, you're very intelligent for that. And I like that you're really focused in, but you're real with it. And that's going to help you in life.
I appreciate it, man.
Regardless of what happens. I mean, because realistically, anybody can go out and their career can end in one play. And
100%.
everybody knows that. That can happen. Your knee can give out. You break your neck. You could, fracture your spine. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that can just happen just from getting hit and taking the collision. So it's cool. But I respect that highly, man. Seriously.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
A lot of the guys that I've talked to, like you and indoor guys, they all have something going on the side because they have to. It's not really an option. And so, like, I've talked to bartenders, I've talked to people that work, normal office jobs. It's just people that will go to a game and then go bartend after the game, and that I got to respect that, because that's got to be difficult when you're chasing that passion, and to have to go back and do real work, be a real person. It's quite different.
It makes the games and everything you do after that so much sweeter, man. It really does.
I bet.
Then when you get that glimpse of it, of your dream, man, it's so much sweeter.
That's awesome, dude. Tell me, what's kind of how do you define success in your sport? How do you define success personally for yourself in your sport?
I've always been told I'm a pretty hard critic of myself. I'm the first one to go up to a guy and be like, "Do good run, good read, all that." Then if I drop a pass, man, I'm the hardest critic on myself. But to me, success is just, I mean, winning games, winning championships. It's something you got to do. Have your best game every game, and have your best practice every practice. I mean, that's the only way you're going to get better. Winning championships and just making sure you're always building on something. I used to be really bad at getting mad when I was bad at something. If I couldn't run this route right, I wouldn't do it. And then I kind of matured a little bit and understood you're not going to get better at that if you don't practice it. You're not going to get better at that if you don't really hone in. Why am I not doing this right? Why am I not going to 10 yards and cutting to 12? Little things like that. So, I mean, just getting better every day is successful, and you got to do it little by little. You're not going to get everything done in one day. So, I mean, it's how championship teams are built.
1% better every day, baby. That's
1%,
what they say.
man. It's true. It's true. Cheesy.
I agree.
But true.
Whether it's real life or football, just
100%.
give more. That's all you can do.
Definitely.
How old are you? I didn't ask you that.
24.
Oh, so you're still young, man. You still got some
old.
life in you. Oh, just wait.
I don't know
Just wait.
that.
Just wait. All my friends who were old told me that, and I was like, 30s. Who cares? That can't be much different. No. Can't eat shit without getting heartburn.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother life, dude.
I go out to golf and play 18 holes. I come back with like a hitch in my back. I'm like, oh man, dude, I gotta take it easy tomorrow.
Just wait. Like I said, I can't play golf anymore because I got a bad back, so I can't even do it. If I wanted to, all I could do is go ride around and talk crap.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So, I mean, this basically wraps up the interview. I got another question for you, and it's just like, tell me, what's your future plan? What's something you're going to be doing in the future, whether it be 5 years, next year, whatever? I mean, what do you have in store?
Well, like I said, outside of football, I'm a project manager for that company, and I think I'll be there for a long time doing that. Like I said, I love what I do. I love the people who I do it with. We're family there, man, and it makes you want to go to work every day and do better, not for just me, but for the people above me. Because, like I said, it really is a family there. It's awesome to be there. I know in a couple years, probably 3 or 5, I guess few, I really want to be owning my own, not business, but maybe like an apartment complex, something like that, something where I can get sustainable revenue without me having to work. And then when I'm like 35, just be financially free completely. Have people working for me and be able to really take control of my life and do whatever I want with it.
I love it, dude. That sounds like a great plan. Enjoy yourself right now while you're young, and then come back and get to work. I mean,
Definitely.
who knows, man? You may pick up an NFL deal or something along the way. It changed your whole life forever.
That's the dream, and I'm always working toward it.
Hey, man, good luck to you. If you need anything, reach out. I've enjoyed this conversation. Thank you again for coming on. If you need anything, like I said, reach out, man. It's good talking to you. Very humble guy, and I can tell you're going to be successful, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me. I mean, yeah, nothing else I'd rather do than not talk to you. It really was a good time.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it too. We had it short and sweet, 37 minutes. That's good, man. We really got it in there. I try not to drag this thing on. When I first started doing these podcasts, I mean, they would go for an hour, 2.5 hours. I mean, it would just go and go. Mm-hmm. So getting a good quality conversation in and not kind of burning you out is my goal. So thank you again, Ben. Good luck. We'll be watching for you, brother. And like I said, I got people on the ground watching that team in San Antonio as well. So if you make it there, you can bet we'll be watching you, following you.
Sweet, man. I appreciate it, man. Hey, God bless, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Ben. Till next time, brother. All right. Appreciate Ben for coming on. You can see his social media at the bottom. Follow him on Twitter. Good guy, very humble. He's really played his way up. So check out his stats as well. You can look him up. Marian University in Indianapolis. Excited to see what he does with his opportunity here with the IFA. And like I said, when he makes it, look forward to keeping up with him. Thank you guys for watching the show. If you watched tonight, greatly appreciate it. Myself, I've kind of been just doing my own thing. I've tried not to burn myself out with these interviews and podcasts. So check for some more coming up. But definitely, like I said, trying to conserve my energy for the next coming season. It seems like last season we had a lot of different alternative footballs hit at the same time. Really want to be prepared this season for that. And that's going to require not going hard up until that point hits. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for watching after the fact or listening after the fact if you did. Shooting for a show next week for the UFL Insiders. There's been some cuts within the UFL, NFL. We've got some things to talk about, so it'll be a good show. We'll see what happens. Got a couple guests I'm going to see if I can line up and get it rolling. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching. Thank you to the Gridiron crew for letting me interview your athletes. If you have any more, just let me know. Would love to do it. Gotten to know some of your guys over this past year, I guess. Getting to know them has been a good experience. And you really understand alternative football when you can talk to these individuals. And so appreciate it greatly, Gridiron crew. In terms of, like I said, next episode, UFL Insiders, looking at next week possibly. Check social media. I always put it on there first, and we'll get it going. Thank you again for watching. It's been a pleasure. I'm Matthew Tyler, and I am out of here.
Go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go hard, go home, touchdown like an end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, go home, go hard.